Need I say anything? The title explains the video. Yet another predator has gone down the river and is going to prison for having sex with a minor. And I literally just talked about this. A couple of down bad teachers who were caught in the act doing horrible, horrible things upon younger people who probably shouldn't be involved in anything like this for a long, long time. Man, oh man, oh man. This thing just, it's a big, gigantic rabbit hole that I can't stop going down for some reason. It always just appears on my feed. Yet I'm here talking about another pedophile story, and at least it's a man this time. Well, sort of. It's a drag queen star. His name is Michael Browder. He's 35 years old. Apparently, he's a pretty big drag star. I don't know much in the field of drag other than like RuPaul and his like shitty show, the Drag Race or whatever on MTV. That's all I know about it. Is that men try and look and dress up like women, and that's it. That's all I know about it. That's just literally their existence to me is all I know. That's I don't know how much more clear I can get on this, but apparently this guy was a pretty big drag star, and he was supposedly going to some sort of Arizona Pride parade. He was invited to, and he was gonna like feature there or something. And he was pulled out of the roster of celebrities, I guess, involving their niche, and was arrested because he was suspected of having sex with a 13-year-old boy. Get a load of that shit. 13-year-old boy, brother. Huh? Are you serious, dude? And it's like a whole thing. And this is the thing, though. It's very easy to not be who you are. It's easy to be someone else when it comes to anonymous dating, like online dating, like Tinder and all that stuff. It's very easy to be anonymous, and it's very easy to say you're somebody else than who you are. And in this case, he was fucking a 13-year-old boy. And he said in court that the kid said that he was like 18 or 19 years old, which, yeah, he can say that. Sure, that's fine. But when you actually go up to meet him in person and actually fuck him, come on, dude. A 13-year-old looks nothing like a 19-year-old. I'm 19 years old currently. I don't look anything like how I looked like back when I was in 13. I was in the 8th grade, dude. I don't look anything like that. I'm, one, fatter than I was back when I was 13 years old. I'm darker. I look more like a man. I have actual facial hair instead of this fucking little shame shaggy over here like I'm fucking Norville Rogers from Scooby-Doo. I mean, come on, dude. Really? You think you're gonna fool the cops with, oh, I thought he told me he was 18, 19 years old. No, brother. You're not fooling anybody with that sad shit show of a fucking alibi or whatever. And besides, more likely, nobody gets off with that alibi anyway. So there's no point in really using it. That never works. I can't think of one time where that I thought she or he was 18 or whatever actually worked. And I don't see it working in the future. It's retarded. Quickly going back to the argument where he said it was 18, 19 years old. Apparently, this guy went to the kid's house, like his apartment or whatever. He actually went from his own apartment to the kid's apartment. Huh? Where are the parents? This kid is 13 years old, brother, and he's not the only one to hit who is over the age of 18. Okay? Again, two people have supposedly fucked this kid. I don't understand who the other person could be. Obviously, it's probably anonymous, or he just hasn't come forward yet, or hasn't been caught. Whatever. He actually went on a side quest from his house to this kid's house. I don't understand how that's even possible. Where are the fucking parents, dude? They might be on a fucking all-night bender for all I know, but where are they, dude? Like, there's not even one mention in the New York Post article that I'm getting this information from of even parents at all, where they were, or if they're even in the picture. So, yeah, that's just one thing you gotta wonder. And the other guy, before he claimed, oh, it's not a 13-year-old boy, he claimed it was too dark in the victim's apartment to see whether or not he was 13. But I mean, there are some indicators I can believe to think that someone is not 19 and instead they're 13. Like, this kid is a boy, right? What about the sound of his voice? Like, I don't know how different, like, you can tell between ages. I'm terrible at that. But I mean, I'm assuming there are some characteristics to a 13-year-old boy that are different from a 19-year-old man. Because one's a boy, one's a man. That's a difference right there. And even if it is dark, again, I'm sure there are some pointers, some red flags that raise that say like, hey, this kid might not be an adult yet, so I better get the fuck out of here. No, you kept going, you proceeded, and now you're in jail. But I think one thing you want to take from this, if you're the pedophile in this situation, at least it'll be an all you can eat buffet in jail. I don't know necessarily you'll be on the top when it comes to that, but at least you'll get it. And I'm sure they'd love to have a nice little time with you. They'll just be lining up single file in that specific cell, ready to take on the world with you, pal. Let me show you his picture. This is him in drag uniform, in what he looks like with all the makeup, all the wigs, all dolled up in whatever outfits he's in. I don't know. And then this is him in his prison mugshot. World of difference. This guy barely has any hair on his head, dude. And I gotta tell you, they did a good job of making him look like a woman. Long hair, makeup, and everything. They did fantastically on that. And I guess that's the goal when it comes to being a drag queen, because that's the point, right? You're trying to look like a woman. So yeah, good on them. They really did a good job, I think, in his transformation and everything. But again, that doesn't excuse what he did was very wrong. Very, very wrong. Pedophilia is on the rise in both genders. And men, they literally had a whole show dedicated to catching predators, dude. So, you got to thank Chris Hansen for that. But that's just how bad of a problem it is, where they can make a whole literal TV show about it. That's how bad it is. Think about that for a second, dude. They're able to make a whole show with several seasons dedicated to this one niche. That is insane to me. They were getting justice for their victims on that show. And even though there were no true victims yet, they were all pretend. To the pedophile in that specific instance, it was real. He thought he was going to get some kid's ass and he was going to have a good time. And then Chris Hansen shows up, and then they know they're fucked. And then that's it for them. This is in that sort of situation. But this time, he actually did it with a real child. That is insane to me. How one can be attracted to a minor in the first place boggles my mind. I don't understand it. I'm sure there's lots of gay guys out there who would love to have a good time with you, but no, you got to go with this underage ass instead. So I don't get it. It's a mental disease, and I went over explaining how I don't understand it in the last video, so I'm not going to trouble you with that anymore. But the details of this case are just strange to me. You can't make it up, dude. But other than that, guys, if you're liking the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button, comment, like, do whatever. Don't do it. I'm not in charge of you. But other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, thanks. Keep watching.